Society for Promotion of Alternative Computing and Employment, SPACE, is a non-profitable organization with a mission of promoting free and open source softwares in education, governance and all other areas. So let's talk to Mr. ARUN, the Executive Director of SPACE, and know more about what is free software and what is SPACE all about. Let's talk. Hi and welcome to Havel's Let's Talk, sir. Could you please brief us more about what SPACE is?
Okay, SPACE was started by the government of Kerala way back in 2003 as an organization of IT professionals in Kerala who were interested in free software. Because in 2001, the state government announced a new IT policy which suggested that free software should be adopted in the government and public IT programs wherever possible. It was a significant achievement considering that around the globe free software was just beginning to get attention in the early 2000 period. And the Kerala government in a way became a forerunner for the other states in India, including the national government, which was not considering free software significantly during that time. Though those situation has dramatically changed recently. Anyway, the government of Kerala took a leadership there and announced this policy. But policy does not mean action. You need systems which will turn this policy into real action. So that is where the government required as an institutional mechanism which can support the government. So that's how this organization SPACE came into being in 2003. And the uniqueness of SPACE was that it was not an organization exclusively of IT professionals. It brought together people from several different backgrounds. We have journalists in the board of this organization, we have scientists, we have other people from other fields including medical sciences, etc. So it brings a completely different kind of approach to technology, which we think more socially inclusive and based on a perspective of using technology for a social development. So that's the background on SPACE.
So could you brief us more about what all free softwares are we focusing on, or like how do you decide on things?
The idea of free software comes from mainly two questions. The first is the fundamental question of what is a software. What are the natures of software? So that is the first question. The second question is how the software is developed historically. So the free software, the idea of free software originates from these two. Regarding the first one, what is software? We consider that software is a form of knowledge. It is a representation of knowledge or ideas. Like we write a book on something. It is another language of writing an idea. So if software is an idea, we think that idea is something which should be a property of the society, which should be shared freely in the society. This brings us to one important property of software. As Bernard Shaw has mentioned long back, if I have an apple and I give it to you, you get the apple and I lose the apple. But if I have an idea and if I share it with you, both of us get, and the gain is for both of us. So in that manner, since the software being a non-physical commodity, we can replicate it infinitely, thereby bringing the benefit of software to a large number of people.
Yes.
And we think that that is the right way to do.
Okay.
So that's one part of the question. The second question is how the software came into being. If you look historically, software evolved out of a collective process.
Yes.
Where people, I write a piece of code, then a friend of mine find that okay, this is interesting and he wants to make a change.
True.
I give it to him or her, and she makes another change, and that goes to another person. So this was how the software was developed during the late 60s or 70s.
Yeah.
But it was towards the end of 70s and 80s, some people started saying that no, we should somehow abstract this kind of sharing of software. And by stopping this sharing, we can create an artificial scarcity.
Yeah,
and when you make something scarce, even if it is an idea, if you make it scarce, then you can attach an economic value.
Yes.
And that can be converted into an economic economic commodity.
Yes.
So they want, in the opinion of many people who were involved in the development of free software in its early parts, they felt that it's highly unethical.
True.
And they started opposing this kind of restrictions on free sharing of ideas in the form of software. And they started this movement which we today call free software or free and open source movement.
Okay.
So basically they come from this original group of software developers in the 70s. So in the beginning software was all free and there was no need to talk about free software.
True.
But today a lot of softwares are restricted.
Yes.
And so we need a movement which can liberate the software from the clutches of these
economic
forces.
True.
But at the same time, by being free doesn't mean that it is economically less valuable or it is against the market principle, which is not at all true. There are a lot of companies and individuals who make business out of free software.
True.
But at the same time, the only difference between the proprietary software regime and the free software movement is that we don't want to control the user of software in any manner, but we do provide services which are of economic value.
Okay.
So that is about free software.
Yeah.
And coming to the space and its role in free software, when many of us got into this movement sometime in mid-90s, because internet was a major enabler.
Yes.
So it was through internet that many of us reached free software and started sharing it with others across the globe. So, as you know, it was only in the mid-90s that internet started entering India.
Yeah.
And we got into it, and by 1996 there was a small group of free software persons in Trivandrum.
Okay.
Maybe 5 or 6, you could count them in your fingers.
Yeah.
So that was the size during that period. And we were part of that small group.
Yes.
And we were thinking how to propagate this idea. And we thought that the best place to start is the schools.
Okay.
Partly because we know that what we are going to give to the society is not a piece of software, but it is also a perspective. of how you look at the society and how you want your society to be, whether it should be free, whether it should be based on sharing, or whether it should be controlled and restricted. So it's a question of values, and we think that the values are created during your school education and those times.
Okay.
So if we have to bring a change in value, we must start from our schools.
Okay.
So that was the idea, and so we decided to go to the schools.
Okay.
And that time, around 2001, the school IT program also started in our state, which aimed to bring IT education to the schools. So we thought maybe that is the best place to target and focus.
Yeah.
So we started off as volunteers. We went across the state and started doing small awareness program for the school teachers, which was completely independent of any institutional mechanism. We were purely volunteers going around. We go to a place, we stay with some of the school teachers there, we stay in their houses. Then we make a small workshop in the schools. So it was really an interesting period when we went across the state, and we saw a lot of this state in that period. And that way we created a momentum. And many of these school teachers found that free software is interesting, both because of its social and values, as well as because of the nature of the software, which enables it to be used for education. We had a lot of tools which can be adopted for education immediately. So naturally it created a momentum, and by 2006 all the schools in Kerala migrated to free software, and today it is being considered as a role model for IT in education program in India and even outside. Maybe it is one of the largest in the world in terms of number of persons it reach out to. So that's how we started off promoting free software.
What are the challenges that you faced in the initial period while setting up this space or the free software, what we call the free software lovers together to bring up this idea?
The main challenge is the inertia to change.
Yes.
It always exists, particularly in the government or administrative systems. Nobody wants to change, and we were all for the change. But we had our own advantages also. For example, the school IT program, we got into in the very beginning. So in 2001, the government started the program with Microsoft. Proprietary operating systems, and we could also start at the same period. And the teachers, only few teachers were trained in Windows or the proprietary system. So the legacy was minimal. And that way we were in a very advantageous position, and we could make a real change. But if you consider the e-governance and other areas where there was a strong legacy existing during that period, we could not make much change. Even today, even though the policy is for free software, this migration is relatively in a small space. But what is interesting is that the industry is moving towards free software in a very significant manner. So we had done a study on the technopark companies recently, and there we found that more than 50% of the firms heavily depends on the free software. So without free software, their economic activities will not go forward. So that way, the free software is significantly contributing to the economy of this state, which I think is not recognized by the policymakers and even the industry at large. Because but at the same time, the industry did not take a deliberate decision here. it was largely because of the global change towards free software that our industry also adopt free software. But that will make a significant qualitative change to the industry here, because with their ability in free software increasing, they will be in a position to bring out a higher value solution to the market.
Okay.
So that way, I think free software is going to play a significant role in our state.
Okay.
In 2007, we started another major initiative. That was a program for the disabled. So as you see, from an organization which was aimed at promoting free software, we entered into several different areas. The libraries have been always playing an important role in the social and economic development process of our state.